Well, hey guys, it's me. It's Constance with Charming Custom Crafts, and finally, I get a chance to do something I've been trying to do for 2 years. Though it's going to be a little different. I wanted to teach a layout that is something that you can make with basics. So this is a beginner layout. At the same time, it's very easy for those that are a little bit intimidated. But it's a super easy one. Move, Lily. Move. Move, move. Move, baby. Thank you. Good girl. So I'm standing up at my table so that it's a lot easier. I figured out a way to do my videos. But I've been promising for too long, and the next one I'd like to teach is the quilt one because I had somebody who asked me if I would do one. Though I'll have to pause and stop because some of the things take a little bit longer to do. Normally, like now, I'm going to shoot from the hip. So this one's pretty easy. This one is the ladybug layout, and you're going to need a piece of white paper. Doesn't really need to be big. You can use scraps for this in all intents and purposes I'm showing you. You're going to need 2 black pieces just in case, a 12 by 12, and 2 red just in case. Now those are your basic ones. Now if you want to do a print, then you're going to need something for the background, to which we're going to use this background here. I'll put my ATG gun over. This is just a basic. It's all, I like the clouds and the sun at the top here. This is by Momenta. So this is just a foil type metallic shine paper. It does have some embossing, but I really liked the embossed sparkly clouds and sun at the top. So we're going to take advantage of that. So that is a background. Feel free to use a pattern, a print, something more along the lines of, say, a jungle theme, grass theme. Though you don't want to do too much green because of what's coming. Though, you know what? I don't even have the scraps for that. So we'll have to get that one. No, I got that out. Somewhere. I pulled it out. So what I did is I pulled, if you go to your local Walmart, you can get these stickers. And this is why I wanted to teach you something super easy. These are dollar stickers. By chance, I got one for 50 cents. And I actually got this many to do this layout. I've already done one in a larger format. When I had somebody come visit me, she had never done a layout. And I showed her how to make it. And I'll get to the differences. But I went to the local Walmart and just got the sticko bugs, ladybugs, with some daisy flowers. They have a little bit of sparkle to some of them. But I have 4 packs just in case for me. But really, one will work, but I go with 2 if I were you. So that's $2. But I also have these little daisies that sort of match. So you can get those as well to add to the other little daisies. I'd get at least one of those. You can put 2 in and less ladybugs if you like because of the layout of this. So I have that. Of course, you're going to need the ATG gun, or you can use a snail. Me personally, I use so much tape. You're welcome to have some glue. It doesn't matter what kind of glue it is. If you want to have liquid pearl around, that's up to you. I tend to always have liquid pearl around you. And again, your cutting board over there. So there's where my cutting board is at. So I'm going to try to get this. Very simple. I wanted to put a couple butterflies in, and I know that Walmart has some butterflies, some cheap butterflies that are more colorful. It depends on the colors you'd like to do this. Of course, you can mix and match, make it a little psychedelic, little more eclectic if you'd like. So this is what I have for this. I also pulled out some of my extra butterflies. These are 3-dimensional butterflies. And just so you know that I actually do put my stuff in sleeves, and that's a way to protect it. And a lot of people always ask me why. Well, I don't do layouts for anybody. Those are for my own personal reason, for my children to have stories as I go through. So this is for a project I got going on. We don't want to worry about that. So if you want to have scissors just in case, which you will need them. Now, when I did that one layout that I shared, and I say that you can use the stuff around the house. If you don't have a cutting machine, it's okay. You're going to have things around the house you probably didn't know you can use. Now, I could have done it the other way. The unfortunate part is I no longer, because I use plates and saucers. I no longer have round plates. They're kind of a square with the curved edges. But my saucers are the same. And I thought, oh, you know, that's not really going to help me. So I thought, okay, what can I do different? I wanted to do it a little different. So I thought, what does everybody have in their house? Right? Well, that's easy. Everybody's got pots and pan lids. So I figured I'm going to get the small one, and I'm going to get the one that's sized up. And this is going to be for my kids. So there's my son and there's my daughter. So there's that. Now you're welcome to have some punches. You can cut your own vines. You can make your own vines. For this purpose, now you don't have to use this. I'm actually using the Martha Stewart vine. Now you don't have to. Again, I just happen to have that. You can make your own vines, make your own weave, take little waves and do what you want. Do it like you would a snowflake, have a little fun. You can do the same thing with leaves. Now, I may or may not use these other ones that I have sitting out for all intents and purposes to make more flowers. I am, however, going to bring out my 2 leaves punch, which are also by Martha Stewart. This one is just like the little oak leaf. Now again, you can go to your printer and print it out on 8.5 by 11 green paper that you buy in packs. This one's a little special one though, that this pops off, and I have the 2 different stamps. But I don't really use those. But I have this, and I'm going to pull out my scrap greens to have a little more fun. You know, if I don't use them for scrapbooking, I take my smaller pieces and I use them to punch a bunch of stuff out, and I either give them away or I start bunching them up in a whole big bag and I start selling them. I usually sell them at penny a piece. So I have all of this in front of me, and I want to show you how to make this. Hopefully it won't take too long, but the biggest part is cutting. There's only so much cutting that you can do. So I am actually going to pull back my punches and my butterflies and my stickers because they're not needed right now. I'm eaten by damn mosquitoes here. I tell you what, it rains here in Florida and the mosquitoes just come running. So I'm going to put this one up for now too. I'm going to stick that back here. I don't need that right now. And I don't really need the white right now. You might need a cup too. Something small. We can always get to that later. So we're going to start with the black. Believe it or not, we're going to start with the black. The black is going to be your background for your ladybugs. So you're going to want to find a corner, and you don't have to cut off this edge. This is Walmart paper. You can buy, I think it's, I don't know, 30, 40 sheets for $5. So this is one of those things, you make a quick trip to Walmart. You can easily make this, and everybody's going to think you are a professional. So you're going to easily take a pen, and you're going to go around. Make sure you're even around the same edge. Okay, so now we have a black one. And then we're going to take the same one, and we're going to go to the red, and we are going to repeat that, because this is where layering comes in, and you will see what I'm talking about when we get to it. So there is my second one. Now I'm actually done with the little bit bigger one, so I can actually put that back in my cabinet. I love teaching guys, just so you know that. And since I'm already on the red, I'm going to see if I can fit that in there. And right now it's not showing that it'll fit, so I'm not going to use this sheet. This is why I said just in case. This black one won't fit either, but it makes great scrap paper. So we're going to stick that over, and we're going to do the same thing in smaller. And I'm going to try to stay close to the edge because I want to save as much paper as possible. And if anybody knows me, I am so stingy. That's the reason why I have bins that are color coordinated. When I get a chance, now that I'm going to take D-Stash, taking a week or so off for D-Stash, so that I can finish organizing, at least I hope. If not, it'll hit during the summer. So I did the smaller one. And then, like I said, you can take advantage of this edge down here if you want. It's going to be covered up anyway, which is what I'm going to do on this one. And I'm going to go around, and you can use a black pen. It doesn't matter because the black pens are shiny. So it's not going to make a difference. And the pen doesn't want to stay lit. Alright, so I got the circle. And I'm just going to take advantage of it because I don't care. So I'm done with that lid. Great stuff. Now, if you want to do a bigger one, use your plate. Use your dinner plate if you have a round one. You can use a saucer. Me, you know, at this point, I've already done the larger one So we're just going to sit and cut. But what I'm going to do, because I know you don't want to see this, I'm actually going to pause it. Normally I just shoot from the hip, but I don't think you guys want to watch me cut paper. So I'm going to stop there. Now I'm back, and I didn't think you wanted to see me spend 5 minutes cutting paper, so it's only a split second for you. Now this is a great layout to teach children, have them get more involved. So what I have is these 2 circles that are the first one. Let me see, I'm going to measure on my mat. This one is just shy, I'd say 8 3/4 by 8 3/4. So the 2 bigger ones is 8 3/4 by 8 3/4. Again, they could be any size you'd like them to be. And then the second one is 8 inches by, let's see, make sure it should be 8 by 8. Yep, it should fit in that square. Again, cut it in 4s, however you want to do it. So what I try to do, and this is where it starts getting a little fun, because you start seeing the shape of the ladybug start showing up. So now you have these 2 pieces. Now you only want to take the red ones, and since we are at 8 3/4, you need to do on your cutting board, which I'm at my cutting board. Let's see if I can pull you guys over to my cutting board. There's my cutting board. Let's see if I can pull it back over here. Make it a lot easier for you, okay? Under there, I have a lot of stuff. I have candy always. I always have candy. You're going to take that and fold it in half. Now, if you're not quite sure, you don't have a cutting board, just fold it in half. You know what? Let me fold it in half and then use my cutting board so that you guys can see. So you just cut it or fold it in half. It should be a perfect circle. If it's not a perfect circle, it's okay. It doesn't have to be. So that's a good way to find the center, and then just cut it in half. And I'll cut it in half on the board. It's a lot easier to sit sometimes and measure. And for those people who don't have a lot of things, it's okay. What I do is I fold it towards the taped, the written area, where I put the pen line. So now I have the center without even having to measure. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull my cutting board over so you guys don't have to be stretching your eyes. So I love doing this one. I mean, if you have a cutting machine, yeah, the circles are easier. It actually would be easier for one of the things we're going to do next if you have a basic punch, which you can get. A basic 1-inch punch you can get at Walmart. So we're going to just cut that. So now I have the 2 sides right here. So I'm going to turn around and do the same thing to this one. And I'm going to line it up on my cutting board. Make sure I have it right. The light doesn't help here. Okay, so I'm going to line that up. So now I have these 2 pieces. Here's the fun part. This is where it starts getting exciting. So ladybugs are technically, the boys are red and the girls are brown. So if you really want to do it that way, you're welcome to. Now what I do, if you can see how I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to try to pull you guys downward a little bit. So this is where you start putting your ladybug together. Here's the cool thing about it. The ladybugs sort of have a kind of a head on it. So you're going to have, if you do it just right, you're already going to have somewhat of a head right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my ATC. Now if you guys just have a stick glue I'm going to do it a different way though. I want to be able to do something a little different to this. You could just tape at the top. It's what you'd like to do. So I'm going to stick this one up here and just give a little bit of the bug showing. I don't want all of the wings showing, or open part in the black. So, I mean, you can glue it down, tape it down however you want. I have tape out the butt, and that's because I had somebody screw me over on tape and I got a bunch of it. So, you know, I have one ladybug started. You can see, that's one ladybug. Now, you don't have to make it that big. Feel free to make it smaller. Now, I'm going to repeat it just slightly different because I want them both to be just slightly different. And I'm going to pull, see how this is going to work on the mat. I'm going to pull that one maybe a little bit more out. How about that? Because she's a girl and she likes to flutter. So little girls like to flutter. Now, you can tape that all the way down if you'd like. I'm leaving it as is an option just for this, and I can always go back in for myself and glue it down better. So I'm going to put that piece there. And like I said, this is where It doesn't really matter if the under half has that piece there, which is right here. And I'm going to line that up right there. So now I have 2 ladybugs. Kind of flying. So, I mean, you can use the center part here for journaling. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to start showing you this, I got to cut the edging off. So I'm going to cut that off real quick. I could have had it already cut, but I wanted to make sure you guys knew the company brand. So I'm just going to cut that off. And I slice like just a little bit. This cutting board, and I will get to my tools that I consider essential tools for scrapbooking and well worth your money into investing in after, what, almost 6 years that I've been doing just paper crafting. Though I used to make cards a long time ago, but it was more about like Stampin' Up and Stamping Up. It was very cheesy back then. So this is something that when I get to that, after my experiences, the things that I recommend. So now we have this one piece of paper, and we now have this ladybug here, and then I could put this other ladybug over here, or I could do vice versa. But I like the idea that the ladybugs are right like here, because you can slightly see the cloud in the background. And I want to keep, I kind of like to keep this, though it's no big deal. This is all going to get covered yet. Though I'm going to probably pull that one back just a little bit. It's like big sister over big brother. So I'm going to leave that at that. I think that works. Now, anybody who knows me is I'm actually very famous for leaving as much room as I possibly can or hiding little pockets. Now, I'm doing it this way so it gives you options. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape down right here. Not on the red, but you're welcome to. And that's going to just adhere this down. And I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that open because you'll see when I get done. And I'm going to leave that right there. So now it's open. And you're going to see how I'm going to take advantage of this space here shortly. And then I'm going to do the same to this one. It's like 2 lead bugs. So I'm going to go right here. It's kind of an estimate. Just have a little fun. If it's not perfect, it's okay. So I'm going to go and just on the black on that one. And I'm going to see if it measures out right to where I have it. I got to put it this sort of this way so I can cover up. So we're covering up the bicycle on this. So now you got your 2 little ladybugs laying down. So you're asking, okay, how do I make it more like a ladybug? Well, that's easy. You got your scraps of black. So I'm going to pull my scraps of black. And what do ladybugs have in common? Well, they all have polka dots. So I have a 3/4, which is a Stampin' Up, but it doesn't matter. Or that one's EK. And then I have a Recollections one. This one you can buy at Michael's. This one you can buy at Michael's. More than likely, you can buy both of these sizes at Walmart. This is why I want to share it. But if you have something that you can use that's about the same size, feel free. And that's the cool thing about making it home. You can also take foam tape and use a circle of that, and it's just going to take you a little more time cutting. But that's a great thing about having little kids to help. But in this circumstance, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the 3/4 inch on them because I'm going to use, I'm sitting here thinking, you could do the smaller one or the bigger one, and I'm just going to punch out quite a few of these little spots, and I'm sure you guys are understanding what this is now going to be used for. Super simple. I'm going to pop to the other side. I'm going to cut that punch out off so I don't need it. And we're going to use the scrap paper here, so don't think that you're getting away at it using this paper. I'm good about using every little bit, and if you see there's very little spots in between. I don't know how many. We're just going to punch. And my mother-in-law always watches these videos that she used to. She's like, you need a TV show. I'm like, no. I'm not famous enough for that. Martha Stewart. And somebody else comes up with her project. So I'm just going to punch those. Let's see if I have enough for that. And then here you can use your glue. Here's the cool part. It doesn't matter which side, though, if you're picky or OCD. We're just going to put some spots. And then, you know, it's kind of going to look like a strawberry for a little bit. But you are going to have to take some and cut so it doesn't look exact. But we can get to that. So like with this one overlaying the edge, we'll trim that down. And then I have one here. And like I said, we may have to do a little bit more. And just put a little bit of glue down. This is the cool part because kids are probably going to put a lot more down. More glue, that is. And I'm going to put that over there. We're going to put that over to the edge and cut that down. So you can start seeing the ladybug starting to take shape with the spots. Now if you want to put more to the edge, which I'm going to put one up here to the edge. And then I'm going to go over here and repeat the process. Put one here, say there, just random. Doesn't have to be exact on each side, though. You know, some people, like I said, are a little OCD. I can be. There'll probably be more spots on this side than the other. And then you're going to repeat the process for the other one, but you don't have to worry about one side that's covered, but you are going to want to cover the inside of that part. Now you can put the spots on first, but it doesn't really matter. I actually like to just show as I go. And I can punch as I go. Alright, Lily. And then I'm going to go, I think, up around the edge on this and just keep going. And if some of them aren't exact, because you can use them on the edges, that's the cool part about this. Lily is whining because she must have found another lizard. I go crazy because I keep constantly, I'm going to trim off this edging. She's constantly, and Mickey, getting lizards. So I usually have 3 before noon, and then they kind of calm down until the nighttime, and then I get more lizards. So yay me. I'm going to try to hurry here because I don't think you guys want to sit and listen to me all day. And I'm just going to keep punching. Maybe it'll be a lot easier to have this many more out. Alright, so again, you can do this all before. I like watching. I hate fast forwarding. I'm one of those people that I like to learn live. Not to mention you get to see any mistakes that I may have. And I'm going to let those sit and dry a little bit, and I'm going to work on the next one. And I'm going to put one here, 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 here. Hey, let's go there. We're going to travel around the bug. The hell, we'll put one there. And then we'll go over here, here, here. And we'll put one over there, because we're going to have to go over and put some underneath anyway. I mean, you don't have to, but hell. Oh, there's a spot here. So we're going to have a little fun. One side might be having more polka dots, the other one may not. They're not exactly exact, so it's not a rocket scientist move. We're going to put that one underneath. You don't have to put them underneath. Like I said, this could be a lot easier if you're doing the dots on first before you start putting them together, which is fine too. I don't really care either way. Though I might put a few more over here. So it looks a more level. I don't know how many's on there, but I'll put that over here. I think there's one there. And it looks like I'm gonna need some more. Like I said, I'm just randomly going. Yeah, we're gonna need just a little bit more. So we're gonna punch a little more. Woo -woo. And this is one of the scrap sheets. So you can use any scraps you may have in your scrap pile. I could probably grab that because I literally have a box full of black. But I wanted to show you. I probably just punched more than I really needed. But that's okay, I just stick them over in a pile. And then, of course, it probably would have been easier just to trim them off before and put the dots on. But see, that's why I shoot from the hip. And let's put a couple. This one looks kind of lost. This should be enough for that one. Maybe you put one right here. And then I want to put some underneath it. So you don't have to put the edging there, which is the good part. Again, I would actually probably do this before, but you know, hey, I'm shooting from the hip and doing this video. But I wasn't technically planning. But, you know, hey, I'm just going to put a few under there just in case somebody sees it. So it doesn't look so bad. Though, again, they probably are out. Here, I thought I did too many. I need a few more. And I am afraid to pull that back and have glue together. So this is where, you know, shooting from the hip, oh, it doesn't always help you. That should be enough, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, that's one more than I needed. I'm not going to put any more, I'm just going to stretch it down. Lily. And again, a trial and error when I do videos teaching. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. But again, it's one of those things that when I teach, you just never know when I'm making something. I mean, I knew roundabout. I just haven't made this in a while, and I've never done two together. But I'm going to just trim this down real quick. Lily's going to drive us crazy. It's either a toy, a treat, or a bug. And then I'm going to trim it down. This is easy either way. So, like I said, it don't take long. You guys are just dealing with me. So, I actually buy a lot of my paper in different locations. It just depends on what I'm doing. Of course, if you cut these little spots in half or do different ways, it's sometimes a little easier. Now, like I said, I'll probably go back and do it my way when I'm done, because this is the bonus to me showing you, because there's such a variety. And you can put your own spin on it, of course. So it's a personal choice. So I'm just gonna, that one I'm gonna have to pop off and trim real quick, because it's on that side that I already taped. I don't think there's more than one more, which is the one over here on this edge. The other ones weren't on the edge. Again, trial and error. I haven't done this layout in 2 years though, and I used a bigger one with a saucer. So now we do have, ooh, look, there's an extra one. Go figure, I have an extra one. And I thought I'd trim that one. Hey! They blend in with the black. Alright, so it's officially. So you have this. You got your butterflies, or not your butterflies, your ladybug. So your ladybug is now there. So what are you supposed to do with the rest? And this is where your punches come in with your scraps. And that's a cool thing. But see, what I want you to do is I want you to pick out what you want for your flowers by chance. So I have a little sparkly piece here, and I'm going to punch out just a few leaves from here. I'm going to punch out as many as I can. And it likes to fly. They're flying everywhere. If you guys knew how bad my floor was, and I have to clean. This is part of why I have to get to de-stash, and I have to actually steam my floor and scrub it. I have to do it at least once a week on a scrub because I have animals. And it drives me crazy. So I'm going to punch out as many of these as I can, even if it means trimming down the piece on my scoreboard, which I'm going to do. This is going to be a pretty big video. I just hope I can redownload it. That's why I don't like to stop, because even though I can use my programs, I still, you know, I know that people just trim everything down, but I don't. So I got another 4 out of trimming that down. So now I got trash. I have a little trash can here, and eventually I'll show you how to do that. So now I have a whole bunch of different greens. These greens, the normal greens, I'm going to use for basic vines. And I'll pause the video for that so you guys don't go crazy with that, with me right here. But since I use sort of a limey color for these and trying to stick to the background a little bit, I'm going to use a little bit of a lime for some oak leaves. Doesn't really matter. I kind of like the idea of mixing. So I'm going to put some oak leaves in here just for the hell of it. I like mixing and matching it because it really doesn't matter. You can just say, okay, well, it's got 2 trees next to each other. Not a big deal, and they're climbing up both. And the vines or the branches are mixing together. And those are just the ones that I did in the other leaf. That would be a plant leaf. I did it that way just to put a couple highlights in. You're going to see me use multi-layers of greens so that it gives a layered effect. And I'm going to probably have to cut a few more of those. I'm going to set that over to do, and I'm going to show you the punch real quick on the Martha Stewart because I'm going to get back to that one, and I'm going to do a lot of these cuttings before. And of course, you guys know if you're using the wings to pull the wings out, go as close to the edge as you want, so you can match it up. So why I have these, and then of course you're going to keep going by that pattern all the way across. Now I'm going to do several of these before I come back. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that, and I'll let you know how many I used on it. Of course, you can make your own vines. I actually use these leftovers when I'm doing seaweed, just so you know that. So I ain't going to do it this time, but I use them for seaweed. And then I want to go with another green, probably a little darker, and I'll probably cut a little bit more leaves of each one. Both of the leaves on the green, because I am working with the colors, if you see here, because I want it to blend in at the same time with the different patterns. It will pop out. So I'm actually going to consider this part 1, and then I'm going to do part 2 where we finish it up. I'm pretty excited that I got a chance to come back to teach videos. I hope you're enjoying it, but because I don't like to fast forward and I like to talk, and a lot of you ladies like to stick with me because of the fact that you feel like I'm right there with you, which I feel the same way. Now I'm just going to do that many, maybe more, and this color, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to use this one. I like the idea that I can mix it up, and I may use a couple more shades of green. Just using my scraps up, because once again I have it in my bin here, and it's a great way to use your scraps. So I may do a couple vines in different colors, but I wanted to stick with something being consistent. But let me get back to you on part 2. So this is part 1. Come see me on 2, because you're going to love how this turns out, and you're going to see how I work out everything else. Okay?